It is not so much for its beauty that the forest makes a claim upon men's hearts, as for that subtle something, that quality of air, that emanation from old trees that so wonderfully changes and renews a weary spirit. This is a quote by the Scottish novelist Robert Louis Stevenson. The forest is a magical place and calms you down as soon as you enter. Sometimes I wish a little bit of the forest spirit would be in my house. I got this poinsettia from my sister about 2 years ago. One little cactus I bought for myself. Another little cactus I wanted to give to someone but didn't get a chance to. And one pot which is empty. Once there was planted a tiny little cactus, but sadly it died. Since then the space is empty. So I thought, why not planting a little bit of the forest inside here? This day was very windy, but it felt so much like spring already. I went into my nearby forest and kept an eye on these tiny little trees, as well as moss. When picking your plants, be careful to get out as much of the root as possible. Gently wiggle the plants out of the ground. One of these little trees will be in the upper pot. After picking my plants, I covered the holes and tried to make as least damage to the forest as possible. I found different kind of moss. This one is very compact and short, but there's also this star-shaped one. I picked some stones, bark and twigs as decoration. The star-shaped moss is mostly formed in bigger areas. I gently pulled a small amount out of the ground. Make sure to get the roots as well. I also found this tiny little snail and a tree frog. His eyes were kind of covered. I'm not sure if this is normal, but apparently they go into a hibernation. If you know what's wrong with his eyes, write it in the comments down below. And don't worry, I put both animals back where I found them. I also took some soil from the forest so that the plants got the right basis to grow. The soil was very humid and consisted of many different components, mostly dead plants. When I collected enough plants, I headed back home. Don't wait too long after you collected the plants, so that they won't die. I found this twig with pine needles for decoration, different kind of greens, and various kind of tree barks. I also picked some stones, different kind of mosses, and some twigs. This little guy accidentally came with me. I released him afterwards. First, I emptied my 2 containers. I didn't use the old soil, because it stood there for a while. I put a thin layer of the soil I brought from the forest into both containers and pressed it down. Don't compress it too much, so that the roots are able to find a way through the soil easily. I planted the little tree first because it got very large roots. It's crazy when you think about the fact that these little things grow into beautiful big trees. I guess it's like a lot of things in life. It takes time and endurance to grow into something great. I covered the roots with more soil and added a little green plant. In the last step, I planted the moss and added some decorative items. The moss helps with keeping the humidity inside the pot. You can design your little forest the way you want. I like to use a lot of moss. Our first pot is done now. I put it inside the second one and built the rest of the forest around it. The smaller pot has got a hole in it, so that the roots and the unnecessary water finds a way out. I found this clover and this little climbing plant. I guess for other people they would be considered as weeds. To me they are beautiful. They find a way to live in very rough areas. Next to them I planted some more trees and covered everything with soil. Try to give the plants as much soil as possible. These little tree barks look beautiful as decoration and protect the roots from sunlight. Now I started to fill the empty spaces with moss. Once the spaces got smaller and smaller, I used a twig to compress everything. Be very gentle to not damage your plants. For decoration, I also used elder cones. As a kid, I used to collect and work them into wreaths. I don't know what it is about me and forests. They're just so calming and magical. On this windy day, it was like the forest was singing a song. If you listen closely, you could hear the long-gone stories of the past. Now that it is spring, the birds sang beautiful and added a little bit of joy to the song. Some items didn't look that good, so I switched them with others. It's beautiful to build it according to your own taste. Step by step, I added a little bit more soil and decorative items. And that's it. Your little forest is ready to grow. I don't know if I will be able to keep it alive. I can't replicate all requirements. For now it's still alive. I use a spray bottle to water it. I guess this is a good way to get the water everywhere. Be careful to not water it too much. I will keep you updated on how my little forest is doing. I also found this acorn and planted it. Maybe it grows into a tree. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.